What do you get when you cross a dog and a daisy?
A dog and a daisy. I don't know.
A cauliflower.
Yeah. I was thinking, no, I better not say something about a dollop for Daisy.
Hungry Squared, bringing you the best food talk anywhere.
Welcome to the Hungry Squirt podcast where the brain and belly meet. I'm Sharon from the Wasatch Cooking Guide.
And I'm Winter from theredparty.com. This week, we are talking about kitchen design with special guests from IKEA, Andrea Sorensen and Matt Walquist. We're really excited about this.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Squared, yeah, Hungry Squared.
Hey, Sharon, how's it going?
Good. How's your week?
It's been pretty good. Busy? Pretty busy. Yeah. So I'm glad.
Running around.
Yeah, it's nuts sometimes. So, how was your week?
It's been really good.
Did you eat anything good this week?
Yeah.
What?
I went to Rooster's Brewing Company in Ogden, Utah.
Oh.
I'd never been there before. I'd heard about it, but I'd never been. And I tried their taco platter. It's a brew pub. They brew their own beer there on site. They've got kind of the typical beer that you'd find, like IPAs and lagers and things like that. And then they have a couple of unexpected flavors. So that was kind of cool to see. But I didn't try any of their beer, but I did try these buffalo calamari tacos.
Buffalo calamari tacos.
They're delicious.
Okay.
So it had fried calamari.
Okay. Wait, breaded?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fried. I mean, just kind of how you get it in a typical appetizer.
Calamari. Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't very heavy on the breading, but fried calamari. And then it was with like the cabbage slaw and stuff like that, but drizzled with a buffalo sauce and paired with avocado to kind of cool it down a little bit. It was really tasty.
How was the buffalo sauce? Because I feel like buffalo sauce is a little much sometimes.
It was spicy. It did have a kick, like just the afterburn after you eat it. And then it's like, you wait like a few seconds and you're like, oh yeah, that's warm. But sometimes I find them to be too spicy. This was, I think, just spicy enough.
Oh, sweet. So
it was almost too hot for me, but I don't really like hot things anymore. Not as much as I used to. So it was really good.
Sweet. Okay. Well, it was the buffalo calamari tacos. Okay. I'll put a link in the show notes if you're in our neck of the woods and want to check that out in Ogden, right? Ogden. Do they have another location?
Nope.
Just the one?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Yeah.
What did you eat this week?
I did an experiment.
What was the experiment?
So Lee, he's coming where he picks me up and he says, hey, this is what we're going to have for dinner. I bought some really thin cut pork shoulder chopped things.
Okay.
Really thin. And we were planning on doing, he's like, I'm going to stick it into the Instant Pot and it's been marinating.
So it's a pork chop made from a shoulder?
Yes, sort of. So it's just a cut of the shoulder, but it's really thin. It looks like a pork chop.
Okay.
Now, the tricky thing is that it's like super thin. And I'm talking like half an inch to 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
So it's pretty thin. And the one time we've done we did pork chops in the Instant Pot. It was really dry.
Was it?
It was
interesting.
Well, that was like the second thing we made. So we probably didn't do it correctly. I'm just going to put that out there. People that
would have been like well over a year ago.
Instant Pot heads, please don't get mad at me. I was a novice. Okay. So I was like, well, Lee, we haven't really touched pork since then. We really haven't. We have done.
That's funny.
Every other, I think
that's really funny.
We've done every other type of meat in the Instant Pot, but not pork again since that incident. And so he had bought 2 of them because we were going to just have some tacos. It's a taco day, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's a taco week. And so we had an experiment. I was like, well, maybe we'll do one in the cast iron pan and then we'll cut it up.
Oh, cast iron versus the Instant Pot? I feel like that's an unfair comparison.
Why?
You're going to get different tastes.
Oh, of course you are.
Cast iron's going to have a different flavor.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I did one in the cast iron pan. I got it nice and hot.
And you knew it was cooked well.
Yes, I did. I got my Thermopen,
I'm a
my
fan
Thermopop out
of the cast iron.
Yeah, I got that out. Got it nice and hot. Did a little bit of a good caramelization on both sides and checked the temperature with my Thermopop thermometer. Fine. I probably didn't need to use my thermopot because it's such a thin cut of meat. So, but I did because I just wanted to make sure. And then the Instant Pot, we put the other one into the Instant Pot. Now, mind you, people, the pot, he had been marinating it in this lovely marinade. It was nice and spicy. The fridge.
What was in the marinade?
I don't know what he had in there. He made it up.
Soy sauce?
No, it was more of a barbecue.
Oh, okay. Spicy barbecue.
Mm-hmm. So it was in the fridge. So the liquid was quite cold.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that it took a long time. We had made the one pork chop in the cast iron.
It took longer in the Instant Pot than you expected because the marinade was very cold.
You have to bring up everything to the temperature. So it took a lot longer. I will say this once again, we followed what everybody recommended, and it was drier than the one in the cast iron, but it was way more flavorful.
Interesting how that works.
Yeah. It really was way more flavorful because I think the pressure pushed that in, and we did natural release too, people. That means just not doing a quick release of the pressure. We just let it do its thing. The little floater thing popped down, and then we took it out. But yes, it was.
Do you think you should have done a manual release to do it quicker and then it wouldn't be as dry?
No, because the thing is, I've heard that if you do a quick release, then meat tends to, as the pressure comes back down, it springs back in and squeezes out liquid from the meat, the muscle fibers. So I was trying to do a natural release, and that's still, but I think it also had a bit to do with the fact that the cut was really, really thin. So we're going to have to keep experimenting with the pork because apparently we suck at it. But it was good. It was fun. It was really interesting because the cast iron one had a good flavor, but it was not as intense as the Instant Pot one. So, but it was, I would say it was moister. Sorry for the use of that word. And then the one in the Instant Pot was drier, but it had more flavor. So, if anybody wants to give me a fail-proof Instant Pot pork recipe, I would love it because apparently I really am terrible at pork in the Instant Pot.
SOS.
Yes, I need help. Our podcast is brought to you today by our awesome and food-loving sponsor, IKEA. Hey, you guys, we are actually going to be talking a little bit with IKEA folks, but they are having their kitchen event right now till April 8th. You will hear more about that in our episode with Andrea and Matt. But if you are near your local IKEA and you are in the market for a kitchen, now's the time. So April 8th.
Kitchens are on sale until April 8th.
Woohoo!
And now for the main course.
Okay, so we had a really great conversation with Matt and Andrea.
About kitchen design.
Yeah, it was all about kitchen design. Remodeling your kitchen, but just kind of the design elements that go into a functional kitchen.
Yeah. I was really surprised, Sharon, about a lot of stuff we talked about.
Well, yeah, it was eye-opening, and it was a fun conversation. Yeah. But as we kind of got into it after we ended the podcast, we were like, oh, there were so many other things that we could have talked about. Yeah. Similar to how lots of our interviews go, there's just not enough time to talk about everything.
Yeah.
But some highlights that we wanted to make sure that you guys knew was that all IKEA kitchens have a 25-year warranty.
That is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you may redo your kitchen before then.
Yeah.
But if you don't, 25 years is a long time, friends.
Yeah, and that's a 25-year warranty on residential use. They're not warranted for commercial use. So like for an apartment building or something like that. However, there's a lot of people that do put them in apartments. And the cool thing about the IKEA kitchen is that if something breaks on it, say you did install it in an apartment building, you can just buy a drawer front or buy an individual piece of the kitchen. Yeah, an individual component. Also, the IKEA kitchens are made from sustainable materials, so they use a lot of recycled materials. They are environmentally conscious with how they source their materials. They use low VOCs, which are volatile organic components, so like formaldehyde.
Oh, yeah.
So when they redo your kitchen, when they do the remodels and stuff like that, your home doesn't smell it doesn't smell like it was just painted, or when you like lay out carpet or hardwood floors or something like that, how there's like a distinct smell and you kind of have to just open all the windows and air it out.
Yeah,
you don't have to do that.
Which is really nice because they do talk. I mean, we talk about that new house smell. It can be good sometimes, but it can be pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah. So along with those ethically sourced products and sustainable products, they also use fair labor practices when they source things like their stone and stuff like that. Matt's favorite, he wanted to highlight his favorite countertop is the heat resistant quartz that they have.
Which I didn't know that this is something specific to IKEA. Is that correct?
Yes. So they have a quartz countertop. And so it is technically a man-made material. So it's made from ground stone that has a polyester resin on top that permanently seals it. So you never have to reseal it.
Which is great.
And you always know what you're getting because they have a uniform look to them. So it's not like marble or granite or something that is natural stone and has to be resealed. But, you know, in those natural stone, the imperfections give them character and make them pretty. But sometimes when you pick out a piece, once they cut it and install it, you don't realize how many imperfections it has.
Yeah.
And so that can be a deterrent as well.
Yeah.
So you don't get that with their heat resistant quartz.
So not heat proof, heat resistant.
Yeah, it is not heat proof. It is heat resistant. So you can take something from the stove or the oven and set it down and leave it there just quickly. Like you don't want to just leave it there and
let it cool.
Yeah. But if you just have to set it down and then move it, otherwise you'll want to use like a trivet or something like that. Okay. And over time, if you set those hot things in the same exact place,
it's going to show.
It'll show.
Okay.
But it won't, you know, the first couple of times or whatever, if you did happen to leave it cool.
Right.
Also, their heat resistant quartz happens to be harder than steel. So your kids can kind of pound on it and stuff like that. And it's not going to do anything.
That is wonderful.
You could use it as a cutting board if you wanted to.
Why would you do that to your knives though, Sharon?
Right. It will ruin the knives. So
don't do that.
So those are just part of the things that we wanted to highlight
before we get into the interview. And so we hope you guys enjoy this interview because it was really very interesting. I was expecting one thing and totally came out of it with a totally different idea. And now I feel a little bit more well armed if I'm ever remodeling a kitchen.
Yeah, totally much more educated about how that happens and what goes into it.
Okay, enjoy the podcast. Hey, you guys, we are so excited to be here today at IKEA. We're on location. We're actually in one of the kitchens on the showroom with Andrea Sorensen and Matt Walquist. They are both associates here at IKEA, and we are so excited to talk to them. Thank you so much for coming, you guys. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
So first of all, I just want to do a quick intro. Andrea, we've been working with her actually for over a year now, I want to say. And she started out here at IKEA some time ago, specifically in communications and interior design. And she basically opened up the IKEA Draper store from the beginning and has built it up, which is awesome. She also helped kind of train and build up the Vegas store as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, put together some of their showroom room settings and just like the ones you see here when you come to IKEA Draper.
I think that is so awesome. And now she's in charge of customer experiences in the loyalty program. And we're excited that we are able to partner with IKEA. So thanks so much for having us on. And then Matt, we're kind of going to get into you have a little bit of a different background actually than I expected. From what I understand, you used to install kitchens. Design and install kitchens.
I have installed many. We're well over 1,000 people's kitchens. So.
Wow, that's a lot of kitchens. So you know your stuff, is what you're telling me.
I hope so.
He does.
We've seen the ones that haven't worked out. We've seen the ones that worked really well. And the greatest thing is when you get it just right and someone gets exactly what they wanted and it improves their life.
Awesome. So can we just start out really quickly then? How did you move from designing and installing kitchens on your own with your own company? How did you end up at IKEA as one of their kitchen design experts?
So many years ago, IKEA was moving to Salt Lake and opening a store. And they were looking for people in the valley that could start installing their products when the doors were open. So I got the opportunity to apply for that and won the contract to become the IKEA Draper cabinet installation company. So It was a little bit daunting. That I really didn't know very much about IKEA. I'm from California, and there was IKEAs everywhere, but I'd only been in them. I hadn't seen their product. So IKEA was going to do a friends and family night a couple of weeks before the store opened. So my mom didn't need a kitchen, but I needed to put in a kitchen. So we went and
Where was I when you needed to put in a kitchen?
You were here?
Yeah, I needed a kitchen.
So I went down and we planned and bought her a kitchen. And so we went back and started putting it in, and it was amazing. It was completely not what I was expecting. I'd heard, with IKEA, I was expecting affordable furniture for college dorm kids. I had no idea that this was going to be better cabinets than I've been putting in on some very high-end custom jobs or home centers or things that I've done. So it was so much fun to open these packages and just say, wait, they're charging how much? They need to up their prices. That was my first thought, was I need to let them know they're so far off that they're using these amazing hinges from Austria. They're using these cabinet components. This is nicer than what I'm seeing for way more money than it's other places. And so we learned the system. I think, one thing for me was your first IKEA kitchen is a learning experience. You have to kind of get your IKEA legs under you. If you've ever built a piece of IKEA furniture, your first one takes you a lot longer than the second one when you've now learned how to read the instructions and what's going on. So after trying to master this, of course the store opened, and so we had to go start putting in kitchens for other people, and luckily we now had the basics and we could really fine-tune that. And then about a month later got to go back and finish my mom's kitchen. She was very patient, waited for us to get a time when we could do this. During the next 6 years, we were putting in close to 1,000 IKEA kitchens. We had...
Are you kidding me?
I'm not. IKEA, we were doing a couple of hundred a year. Now, of course, this wasn't just me. This was a company with, there was 14 people just in my company that were putting this in, and then other people as well. But IKEA, the first person on a street would do IKEA, and then their family and their friends would come over and they'd see it and they'd be like, wait, this is IKEA? You spent how much? This is nicer than my things. And then we would go back and we would do their family and their friends, and it's just spreading, and it keeps going as people learn more about what IKEA is and why it's ranked so highly, like nationwide and things, for customer satisfaction and how to get the best out of it. So it's really been cool. At the end of that, IKEA has some amazing benefits. And one thing about being a contractor is you don't really have the benefits. You're just out there on your own. You're making great money, but you're working really hard for it. There's such great benefits with vacation, with insurance, with everything that I needed to change my life. So I took the opportunity to come and work here. So for the last 5 years, I've actually worn the yellow shirt and been working here in the kitchens department. So it's been a great trade.
That's such a fun story.
I know, your mom is patient. I mean, like the fact that there was a little bit of a delay for getting hers in she's nice.
Yep. And she's now moved just recently, and she wants an IKEA kitchen again because she's missing all the things that her kitchen now did. Once you're used to that, it's really hard. But she just moved from down in Orem up here to Sandy by me. So sometime in the near future, I'm sure there's a IKEA kitchen going to happen again. So.
Once you have a taste of that functionality,
faster.
I mean, you can't live without it. Once you have all that functional stuff in your life, it makes things so much easier.
It totally makes a difference. Okay, so kind of like, let's segue into this because this is an episode about kitchen design. And the first question everybody always asks is, what is up with the triangle? Like, can you
work triangle?
The work triangle. Will you tell us what the work triangle is and why? Why do we need it? Because we all watch the HGTV remodeling shows, and some of them fail miserably because they forget the work triangle.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
So one of the things about your kitchen is you're going to spend a lot of time in there, and you're going to do a lot of repetitive tasks. Not everyone uses their kitchen the same way. So one of the big mistakes that people use is trying to get their kitchen to fit the same as everyone's kitchen. But some people like to bake. Some people like to have both people in the kitchen cooking. Some people just have one and get out of my kitchen, I'm cooking. So a lot of this is really figuring out what works for you. But there's some really good guidelines to make sure that you're not making things that are going to make working in the kitchen harder. So the work triangle is one of those. People have been using kitchens for a lot of years, and there's a study where you can go in and watch someone cook, watch how they're using their kitchen, what works for for someone is going to work for someone else on these key areas. There's 3 parts of your kitchen, which are the sink, the stove, and the fridge that you tend to use together a little differently than everything else. Some places you're just storing things. You're not working there. So where you're working is you're working at your sink, you're working at your stove, and then you're going to your fridge for storage. So the work triangle is the relation of those 3 pieces with each other. If you have any of those 3 pieces too close together, you're not going to have enough room to really work between them. So you'll see sometimes where there's a sink and a stove right next to each other. But that means when you want to chop vegetables, you're now going to be doing it somewhere else and then running over and cooking them on the stove. Now you got to go wash something, cook something else. You're going to forget about what's going on the stove, and that's going to start burning while you're over 3 or 4 feet away chopping more vegetables.
So true. The work triangle is really about creating efficiencies in your life. And the way we really like to think about it is that the more efficiencies you're creating when you're cooking and all of that, the more time you have to spend with your family and spend enjoying food and spend enjoying company of your friends and things like that. So we really want to make, every kitchen we design, even within the store, has a story behind it. And we know, is that person an entertainer, like Matt was saying? Are they a baker? Are they, someone who has kids that do homework at the countertop? So we know all of those things, and we take that into consideration when we're planning that work triangle to know kind of where we need to put those things.
So really quickly, I'm a little surprised with what you guys have actually said, because I've always thought of having the work triangle closer together. But you're saying that if it's too close, that can be a detriment as well.
It's both. So you don't want to be too close and you don't want to be too far. So if you're any closer than 3 feet between those, then you're getting way too close. If you're any farther than 9 feet, you're getting a little too far. Now that can vary. It's a little different when you're 20 or 30 in your kitchen than when you're 80 in your kitchen, yet we have the same work triangle. So there's some times where, if your room is laid out that way and you're going to be a little farther away to that fridge, you're gonna live with it. But if you get it too far, then you're going to go and you're going to get everything you might possibly need to cook and try and bring it where you are, because you don't want to keep running back and forth and taking those extra steps. But if you've got your fridge right next to your stove, then you bring in all your groceries, you've got to put them down way far away and then shuttle them all over. Or I've seen people just put them on the floor and then put everything away that they've brought from the floor, reorganize their fridge. They've got that big pizza or cake they've got to put in there, and there's no countertop. So it's both. You don't want it too close. You want it just right.
It's like Goldilocks.
It's a sweet spot. You got to find the sweet spot, right, Matt?
Yep.
So the work triangle, okay, so it does consist of the sink, the stove, and the fridge. Now, do you usually build in counter space or flat spaces where it can be kind of work areas around those kind of key places? Is that also part of the work area?
Yep, you're looking at where you're going to work. Now, when you're on a stove, you're cooking, but you're also chopping. You're also preparing, and you're putting the things you're going to cook down. So if you can have that primary work area between your sink and your stove, then you're going to take fewer steps. You're going to waste less time while you're getting dinner ready. So it's all about making sure the places where you're going to be spending your time are in the right place so that you don't have to keep running back and forth, keeping an eye on everything. Cooking in a kitchen is you're multitasking, you're time managing. We want it to be easy for you. If I can be working and also watching what's going on the stove, that's great, because sometimes the difference between burned dinner and great dinner is seconds. You don't want to get out of sight, out of mind, and you're way overworking somewhere else, and all of a sudden you realize, oh my gosh, I forgot that I'm browning that meat and it's all burning now.
And you really want to spend time doing the things you love, right? You want to spend time cooking, and if you're running around grabbing all of the things you need to prepare, and the things you need are 5 feet away, you're really losing out on a lot of the experience. And that's what it is for a lot of people. It's the experience of cooking. It's the experience of being with your family. It's the experience of eating food and things like that. So it's really important, and there are small details that people miss out on, I think, when they are planning a kitchen, and they don't even realize there are small things that will make such a large difference.
What are some of those other small things that make a difference? Like, I notice my fiance is a chef, and he doesn't like it when there's a sink on the island. He just likes a flat surface on that island and stuff. Is there certain key elements to the best way to compose a triangle, or the best way, like small details to design the kitchen?
You know, I think coming from a design background personally for myself, one of the things I would say that really matters is getting to know the person first, getting to know the customer or the client and figuring out what is it that they're going to be doing in that space. Because everyone's going to have a different preference for what they're going to be utilizing that space for. If we truly get to know our customers, which we do when we're planning a kitchen for them, then we understand what their needs are and we can find the best solution for them. So in an instance like not wanting the sink in your island, it's probably because you're someone who likes to use your island for lots of prep space, or you make maybe a lot of breads or things that need to be rolled out, things like that. And so you don't want to put a sink in the middle of a place like that that's going to take away from prep space for you. So it really does come down to who is working in the space and what is it that they want want the space for.
And sometimes there's multiple people using the kitchen. So you might find that you have two sinks. You have a primary sink and then a small sink. I've seen many kitchens with that island where the placement on the sink on the island is what would ruin it for like your fiance is right in the middle. Now you can't roll out pastry and things, but maybe if it was down on one end, it'd be very convenient to get that little bit of extra water or have someone able to wash hands when someone's using the main sink. So it's just getting all the pieces right. But kitchen remodeling is a big commitment. It's time intensive. You're out of your kitchen for a long time. It's expensive. And so it's something where you want to make sure you get it right. So taking the time to really talk through who's going to use the kitchen, making sure everyone that's going to use the kitchen is part of these decisions, meeting with someone who really has the answers, and using the modern marvel of computer software where you can actually visualize and see your kitchen before you commit. You don't want to know that you got the wrong kitchen after you've just spent all this time and money and here you are a year into your new kitchen, you're already planning your next remodel. You want a kitchen that you're going to use for the next 20, 30 years and really enjoy. So I think that's something a lot of people rush through their kitchen. They put the same kitchen in that they're tearing out. They aren't really looking at what do I want to fix about my kitchen. They're not getting the whole story, or maybe they come where one person comes and plans the kitchen and they really miss out getting all the input from everyone who's going to use the kitchen.
Yep. Oh, that you're right. There's a lot of cooks in our kitchens, I'm assuming. Sharon, we all cook here, we all bake here. So yeah, getting input would be very helpful. Okay, so one thing that I've been impressed with, we've been here on site several times, and you guys have a variety of kitchen setups here, so you can kind of see what potential there is, right? How do you set things up here? And I'm assuming it's very market specific.
It is, yeah.
We live in Utah, everybody. If you've been listening to our podcast, you know that we're in Utah.
We have big families
We
here.
have big families here. And so some of these kitchens that are in our layout are quite large, while in a different market, say in Sweden or something like that, is probably a lot smaller. So how do you guys plan to show what potential there is for when you are doing a kitchen design?
So the way we really work is, because we are so market specific, we really want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of all of our customers. So we want to have a little something for everybody. And we start out by doing a lot of market research. We actually go into people's homes in the market. Once a year, we try to go out and we do home visits. They're called home visits. We'll come out and we'll take customers can sign up to do it. And we usually take like a gift card to them and we go out and we interview them in their home about what they do in different areas of their home. We log all of the information. We log the square footage of their house, how many people live there, what they do in each room, how often they're home, what they do for their occupation, what are their hobbies, what do they, are they cooks, are they not cooks, do they go to school, are they people who are up at night? Everything. We go through everything. And we take all of that information and we combine it and compile it into a database. And so what it does really is gives us the information we need so that we know who is in our market. What kinds of things do they need? What do they hate about their kitchens? What do they love about their kitchens? And then we take the things that they need solutions for, that they tell us, and we bring them back to the store and we create solutions. So we create solutions and then we build those into room settings like you're sitting in right now, one of these kitchens. There are a lot of solutions in this kitchen that were made from asking questions of people who live in this market. And so we hope then that those people will be able to come into the store and see these solutions and be inspired and excited that IKEA listened and gave them something that they can really live with. That's going to create a better life for them every day. Something that's really going to improve the lives of them and their families and their friends and anybody that, comes to their home.
So can you walk us through the process of how you guys do kitchen remodels with people? Because when I think about like designing my kitchen, I think about like a Pinterest board. I think about Nancy Meyer's film sets,
right.
With those fancy kitchens and it's all white or, maybe it has one accent color or something. But I don't really know like how
do we IKEA-fy that?
How does that work?
So Matt can probably answer that, and there's a couple of different options for that. So he's really great with that.
So we have a lot of different customers from different areas. We are kind of out here in the West. Everything's spread out. So we see our customers coming from as far as Montana, Idaho, Wyoming. We have customers that are coming from downtown. We have customers that are coming from here in Draper. Wherever our customers are coming from, we want them to get the right kitchen, but it might be a different way to get there, depending on how they're doing this. Probably the most effective thing that we have seen is to get those measurements and get someone into your home first. So for our customers that live close, we offer a service. It starts at $199. It goes up a little farther the farther you get from the store to cover time and gas and mileage. But we'll send someone out to your home that will meet with you and take all of the measurements. This way you know that you've had a professional look at it and you're going to get a kitchen that's going to design that's going to fit. It's going to work the way it should work. Then you work with a planner, and that planner is an expert in kitchen planning. And then we used to do this a little different. We tried to do it all at one time. We sent someone out to your home. They sat down with you for all day and they planned out your kitchen. The problem was then you go to bed and you start thinking, they said, what if the stove was over on that other wall?
Yes.
And so now you've already had your kitchen and now it's not the kitchen you want. So we've started with a very new program. Once that person's come to your house and measured, then within 5 days, we're going to get you with a planner, and they're going to plan your kitchen. Now, you can do this over Skype. You can do this over email. We have planners who are experts with it. And the reason we're setting this up instead of all of you just sitting down one time is for 45 days, we'll make as many changes as you want. So now...
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That is a lot. That's a long time. That is a long time to be able to deliberate.
So now you don't have to use all 45 days. You might get it right at the beginning. But if you get where, I really wonder what would happen if we knock down this wall and put the fridge over there, they've got the measurements. They will work that up for you. There's no limit to the number of changes. I mean, they can only make changes so fast, but you can envision your kitchen and really make sure you're getting the right one. When you're ready to buy, they're going to finalize that. They'll send you your complete kitchen package. You come here to the store or work with us over the phone. We'll sell you the kitchen. We'll get it all delivered and we'll get the install going. So it's really easy, but it's take the time to make sure that you're getting the kitchen that you want, because kitchens are a commitment. I mean, this is not something that's very easy to change once you've done all this work.
And speaking of time, Matt, how long does it normally take someone to decide to do a kitchen? I know the answer.
So you're looking into
time.
The years. This is 2 years is on average what someone is looking at for realizing my kitchen's not working right. Maybe I need to make a change.
It's the dream, right? So like when you decide I'm going to redo my kitchen, no one wants to commit and just jump in. So they take a lot of time because it's a really big thing.
They look at all their friends' kitchens.
Yeah.
They
look at a Pinterest board.
But some people are also building, or some people bought a home. They know right away, okay, I'm buying the house. Before I even move in, I want a new kitchen. But that kitchen just nags at you. If something's not right, I'm not getting all I could. Now, European cabinets, this is like cheating, because Europeans have such small living spaces. The population density is so high. They look at our kitchens and say, what would you do with all this space? And we're looking at our kitchen going, where am I going to put everything? I've got so much that I want to put in here.
I have 10 mixers.
Yes, but when you take the technology of the European kitchen that's actually doing a lot of the work for you, we're not just selling cabinets, we're selling solutions. When we make a drawer set, we also make a full set of interior organizers that go in there so everything has its home, everything has its place. When you come in our showroom and you open all the drawers, we filled those with the things you would expect to find in your kitchen to get you that idea. You should be able to find anything in your kitchen and have your kitchen do some of the work for you.
Yeah, you don't have to figure out where all your spatulas and tongs are going to go, because we kind of already figured that out for you.
But when you first have your kitchen and you're realizing, I don't like my kitchen. I don't have a place for this. All these just move here. I'm run over the way over here to grab this. It takes a long time before you decide, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna tear this thing out and put in this new kitchen. So do your research. Keep a folder. One of the things when someone comes into plan that I really enjoy is when someone has made their own Pinterest page kind of thing, and they've got pictures of what they like. They've got pictures of where they want to go. They've really done that thinking. It's very easy as a planner now to help guide that person into the solutions that are going to work for them. When you're first starting, don't rush it. Really, that's why we're going to this 45 days of making the changes that you want on the same appointment. So you don't need new appointments. You don't need to keep coming back.
And then they heard that there's an IKEA kitchen event and they're like, sold.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Now, if somebody does come in with their Pinterest board, book of ideas and such, and
Their kitchen inspiration.
Exactly. and then they start telling you about who they are and what they do. And then you're like, this is not quite matching up with your vision, because if you're a baker and all of your baking stuff is way over here, or there's not enough space, do you help guide them and give them a little bit of clarity on what to do with that?
The hard thing with kitchens is they last a long time. And it's very expensive. And so your average person is only going to remodel a kitchen once every, I don't know what the number is. Last time I heard 12 years or something. And that's usually because you're moving or you're doing something else. So this isn't something that people are expert in. And that's the thing, is sometimes they think they want something that they've seen. And when you really get into it and you start talking about how you use your kitchen, what do you like to do, you end up with something completely different. We see so many times where people come back and say, I'm so glad that I took the time to do this. This isn't the kitchen I even thought I would do. They educate themselves through the process and they get the right kitchen, and then they love it. Every one of their friends, they come over, they're opening things, they're showing them where this goes, and they got the right solution. And that is something, when people come in to buy kitchens with IKEA, this is a busy place. People are getting paged. We're helping everyone.
all the time.
There's a couple of different ways to do it. Those services where you get the time, you're set up, or just come in and talk to us, but be expecting we're going to be helping a lot of people. It's not something where you come in and you're going to just have someone's attention for 2 hours. They're going to be helping and answering questions for everyone, and they'll keep getting back to you as you browse through and get inspired. So you always want to keep that open mind of, we're not going to guide you through every step as you're here. We're going to show you the options and let you get educated and learn about your kitchen. And then I do always recommend to get those services and those appointments when you're ready to go, to maximize your time.
Can you tell us about some kitchen trends and how that plays into how IKEA helps you design kitchens? Like islands, butler's pantries, things like that.
Matt probably can speak to that more than I can right now, because he sees what people are looking at every day.
So you can usually date like when someone's home and kitchen was built by saying, okay, you've got the mid-century modern, you've got, this was early 90s. You see those trends where everything in the early 90s was whitewashed maple with green countertops, or everything in the 60s was harvest gold and, walnut. We see those. We just got through having this Tuscan-inspired vintage with the travertine and the naughty woods. Well, now what it's about is we're seeing a couple of things happen. One is people are tired of cleaning all those nooks and crannies, so we're really seeing a resurgence of modern, getting simple. We're getting back to where we're really trying to simplify our kitchens. We don't want to take all of our time cleaning and looking for that. Everything is about simple. Hide it inside of drawers, be able to open it, see everything, but smooth faces, easy to wipe down, easy to live with. We don't want to spend our time in our kitchen. We want to spend our time cooking or enjoying our family that are in there, not worrying about all of these nooks and crannies and grooves. So everything has gone really, really simple. But we're also seeing where a lot of people are expressing themselves instead of just being, okay, here's what the cabinet shop's making. Everything is going in with the same naughty alder cabinet or the same whitewash maple. People are getting more colors. People are getting more creative. We're seeing where, especially at IKEA, we have things that other people don't offer. So they come in and they're putting in a kitchen that talks about them. It's very personalized. It's got, open shelves, or it's got glass in unusual places. A lot of light in their kitchen. A lot
You're
of
a wine
colors.
collector. You have wine. We have wine shelving, and if you collect teapots, we've got shelving for that too. And
very personalized on your kitchen. This is where I want to keep this. And that's because you can see it on the computer, you can visualize your space, but you can dial it into what you want it to be. And some people are putting in a kitchen for their home to resell. That's not what we're talking about. It's more of, hey, I'm going to be here and I want my kitchen to be my kitchen. So it doesn't look like anyone else's. And you'll see that in our showroom. Some of these kitchens don't look like anything else you're going to see somewhere else.
That is so true. I love the kitchen setups here. They're beautiful. So kind of along the same lines of the trends that you're seeing. I mean, I'm just going to say this. I think IKEA is a huge trendsetter because whenever I see the catalog, I was like, ooh, I want to do that. So are there things that you would love to see die away when it comes to trends? I'm curious in kitchen design.
I don't know. I think that in the past, there have been a lot of kitchens that were made to just look beautiful and they aren't really functional. I don't think we see that as much anymore. People these days are really becoming more self-aware and more aware of what they want in life and how they want to spend their time. And especially as sustainability starts to grow and social awareness starts to grow, I think people know what they want. So people don't really want to waste time and money on things that aren't going to benefit them. So I think those kitchens that are really just for show are probably going to start to go away.
And I'll give you my pet peeve is the built-in microwave in the wall cabinet with the really vents all around it. It's the size of an oven. We're moving away from microwaves a lot. We're finding out it's not the best idea to take everything and put it in your plastic container in the microwave and reheat it and get all those BPA plastics in your food. And so we're seeing where people are using the oven again more. It's still great to have a microwave and to use glass cookware in your microwave, but where the microwave used to be, here's the big microwave and then here's the oven. I'd rather see a kitchen with double ovens where you can get that flexibility of cooking and maybe a smaller microwave tucked away somewhere, because it used to be that everything was just going in the microwave, but now I would much prefer to cook something in a small chef's oven on the countertop if I'm looking for that speed or just to get that
convection
crisper
oven,
brown.
yeah.
Convection.
And we see that a lot here, people wanting double ovens, and it's really popular.
But if you're going to do a microwave, don't just do that same countertop microwave and build it into a hole and leave all that space around it. There are really cool solutions. Like IKEA has the drop-down small microwave that can go below the counter or up in the cabinet. That's not that big, huge one. But it's just anytime you're taking that countertop microwave and you're building it in, you are giving up a lot of space to move air around it to keep the electric components cool. So there's better microwaves out there than just taking your countertop one and putting it in a little box up on the shelf.
And we offer those really great microwaves, and they come with a warranty, and they're made by Whirlpool.
Yep.
So
and they're a little different than that sit on the countertop one.
Yeah. I
had no idea. So when I think of an IKEA kitchen, I think of cabinets and more cabinets and drawers. I don't really think about like hoods or countertops or anything like that. So can you tell us a little bit more about like what kinds of things? I mean, sinks.
We sell all that
sinks
stuff.
Are super popular right now.
We've seen a huge interest from people in getting the right appliances. And so IKEA's partnered with Whirlpool. All of my appliances are made by Whirlpool. They are made for IKEA, so they have the IKEA styling on them and the Whirlpool components. They come with a 5-year warranty included. Usually you get up to the cash register and someone asks if you'd like to buy an extra 3-year warranty for, $150 or $250. This is something where we are going to do 5 years for free, included with every one of our appliances. I limit it. I put out the most popular, the best looking, the wall-mounted hoods, the stoves. We don't have as many so that we can sell in volume and get you the best price. So the appliances are huge. Countertops are huge, quartz countertops, the butcher block countertops. And then one of the coolest things that you're going to see are the farmhouse sinks. Farmhouse sinks, one of the places that really takes a lot of wear and tear in your kitchen are the cabinets in front of your sink. You lean on them. You've got a belt buckle on and you scratch it. It's also got water on there. And so your whole kitchen looks great. And then the front of the sink is all scratched up and it looks like your kitchen needs to be replaced. A farmhouse sink protects that, but it also has a great look. IKEA does their farmhouse sinks very different. Usually you undermount that farmhouse sink, and then if you chip it, if you scratch it, you got to have someone come and pull out your countertops and try and find something the same. We make our farmhouse sink so that you cut the hole and you put the sink in, and then if you ever broke it, it just lips over the top. You take it out and put in a new one, because sinks take a lot of wear and tear.
And they're so affordable.
It's rare to see that top drop in, like the top mount.
Yes, it's an integrated farmhouse sink, and usually a farmhouse sink you're getting into the $500, $700, $1,000 range for these sinks. These are extremely affordable. I'll have to check because we just made some changes, but the pricing on it, I believe, is $199 for the double bowl and $159 for the single.
You just can't compare it to anywhere else.
Yep.
Once again, had no idea. I'm learning
mind
so
blown.
much.
Winner's mind is blown.
I know. No, seriously. Okay, so you guys provide everything. Like you basically you could have an empty box, something that you demoed yourself.
Yes.
And basically have someone come in, measure everything out, and kind of tell them who you are, how you work in the kitchen. And then they can basically come in and install that for you.
Yep.
Well, and I'd always recommend to everyone, if you live in the areas where we offer this service, do that planning service, because not only is it only starting at $199, but when you buy your kitchen, we give it back to you. So it ends up being free. You get that no matter what. Now, I see that there's two kinds of people using IKEA. It's those that want to do it themselves, those handy entrepreneurs, that pioneer spirit, they are going to do this. That is a great savings because you can build your cabinets, you can install your cabinets. And then there's people who are saying, I don't really want to do that. I tried to build this piece of IKEA furniture and it was too hard for me.
And we're here for both of you. We're here for both of you.
Yes, we've got it covered. Either you're going to do it or we're going to do it. So that's the way we work, is we have installers that will come and do everything, or we'll sell you the parts and you take it on yourself. We're here for you either way.
That's amazing that you get that money back. I was just thinking it was like an extra service, but that just goes into your kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be an extra service, and we just found that the people who used it were so much happier that we decided, let's just give it back to everyone and let everyone be that happy.
It's just worth it to them, and it's worth it to you guys to have it done right. Okay, that's good.
I like the programs that IKEA has, just how they adjust and things like that, and like the friends and family program and things like that.
It's really the idea we have is really to make a better everyday life for the many people. And that's really who we are as a company. And we truly do want that. I mean, years and years ago, we had a finance card that you could get, and we discontinued our contract with the service provider because the interest rates were too high. And we did not want to be a part of something that was going to be leading people into like a detrimental financial situation. So we cut that. We didn't have a finance offer anymore. And we've kind of changed that now. And we're kind of going towards a new day where we're offering something really awesome for our customers, not just the kitchen services, but we have a new card. It's called the IKEA Project Card, and it is a finance offer, and Matt can speak to it. We've been rolling it out for the last couple weeks here. It's really an amazing deal. So if you do want a kitchen, this is the way to do it. If you can't, pull all the financing together at one time, this is definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, kitchens are expensive. They add up quick. There's a lot that goes in there. So it's a daunting project for anyone. Now, IKEA's got great prices, and that's a great first step. What we're doing now is we're making it easier for you to do it all at one time. So we have our project card. You can apply online at IKEA.com. Just go on our webpage, click on the services tab. It's just a soft thing. It's not going to affect your credit to go in and see what you would be pre-qualified for. This really helps you when you're trying to put together your budget. I always recommend know your budget when you're doing your kitchen so that you're planning the right kitchen for what you want to invest in your home. You tend to get a lot of that back. You're raising the value of your home when you do a new kitchen. But with the project card, when you're buying a kitchen, if you spend over $5,000, which is what cabinets, appliances, usually you're going to spend more than that, you can get our 4.9% interest rate for 5 years. They're equal payments. They go across. So it makes it really, really easy to get that right kitchen. That is something that we haven't had in the past. It's been hugely popular. And if you need help getting to that point of the kitchen, IKEA can get that part all paid for.
So right now, IKEA is running their kitchen event till April.
It ends April 8th.
Okay,
yeah.
so and that basically we've got about a week left when this episode comes out. So this is kind of the time because they've got great prices. The staff is ready to go, and then I guess if you pair it with a project card, then that
and
really
you can use the project card to buy anything in IKEA. It doesn't have to just be kitchen.
It just happens that a kitchen is a large project if we're talking about it, right?
And you're getting a percentage back when you purchase a kitchen.
Yep, there's an offer. So what we're saying, our kitchens are on sale. And so what that is when you buy a kitchen, if it's over $2,000, then you get 15% back in-store credit to use on a future purchase. So if you're going to do a kitchen, they're already a great price.
You could redo your bathroom.
Yep.
Sharon's like, what? I'm getting a new bathroom tomorrow.
So when you buy your kitchen, at the end of that purchase, we'll generate a gift card and give it to you so that you'll have it. And you don't have to get in and buy your kitchen by the 8th. The last thing you want to do is rush and get the wrong kitchen that you don't want. You just need to buy one of our planning services by the 8th. You get 30 days from the day the person came to your home to still get that 15% back.
Okay, so there's no rush.
Nope.
I mean, just come in and start talking to them,
Yes.
but there's
Yes.
no rush. Okay, that's good because, you need the 45 days to...
As long as you buy
As long
your
as you buy the
service
plan,
for the plan, we get you an extension. So, because we don't want anyone to come in and hurry and get the wrong kitchen and then not love it. So there has to be a deadline. Something has to stop at some point. So you have to buy your service by April 8th. But then, you can go another 45 days or so past when our sale stops and still get that sale price. You just got to commit by the 8th.
Okay, that's good. So I think this is the thing that's the major takeaway from this is that, I mean, I was coming in here to talk all about design and all about like what should your kitchen look like, but really you're not here to tell me that. You're just here to tell me you need to figure out what works best for you and take the time to do that.
Yep.
Exactly. And all of those inspirations, browse our showroom. This is one of the biggest cabinet showrooms. You can really see different possibilities, different potentials, but get the pros to come out to your home. Like I said, for everyone, if you live in our service area, which is pretty much from somewhere down Spanish Forkish to up to parts of Ogden, we'll send someone out to your home. They'll measure everything and then start that planning process with them. But you do want to start at any point, starting to get inspired of what you want, what you're looking for. Your kitchen should be inspirational. It should be something that makes you excited every time you walk into it. Because come on, who wants to walk in their kitchen and do dishes? But who doesn't want to go in and do dishes in their new, beautiful IKEA kitchen? So
I hate doing dishes, and I would love to do new, dishes in a new kitchen.
it helps a lot.
Right?
It really does. It makes all those tasks so much
I don't
better.
even know where the dishwasher is. Where is it? It's integrated. I don't know.
No, seriously, it makes a huge... I mean, we spent, in our family, we spent so much time in our kitchen. So yes, of course it makes sense to have a place that's pretty.
Yep, but don't miss getting all of that on a great discount and a great deal with, all of the things that are going on. If this is the right time for a kitchen, get in and get it started, and then we'll get all of the right things to make sure you're getting the right look and the right style and what's going to meet your home.
And ask questions. Come into the store. We have so many great active sellers and kitchen planners that are so knowledgeable that they can answer any question that you have. If you're not sure what style you like, we can help guide you and ask you. We know the questions to ask to help you find the solutions and the answers that you need.
Thank you so much. Again, the IKEA Kitchen Event. The kitchens are on sale until April 8th. Come on in and schedule a planning service and get that deal for the next 30 days after you get a planning service. And check out the IKEA project card.
Thank you guys so much again. We really appreciate you chatting with us. It was extremely helpful. I really was seriously thinking that you guys were going to tell us how to design a kitchen.
Well, we can.
Yeah,
but...
I mean, you do, but you really need to know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
And so that makes a huge difference. So thank you. That was very insightful.
Thanks for having us. And when you guys are done planning your kitchens, we would love to come over and have dinner, right, Matt?
Of course.
So,
We will too.
I'm waiting for an invite, and Winter and Sharon will be there too. I'll bring an appetizer.
Okay, well, thanks again, you guys.
Thanks.
Anytime.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for joining us today for our show. You can find us at hungrysquared.com, on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Google Play Music.
You guys, once again, thank you to IKEA for being our sponsor on this episode this week. They are, once again, kitchens are on sale until April 8th. We did not have a food fight segment this week just because we wanted you to hear this episode. This was a great episode and it took up a bit of time. So please share your podcast with your food nerdy friends and family. We are hanging out a lot on Facebook and Instagram lately. So at Hungry Squared and then at the Hungry Squared podcast on Facebook. We're doing a lot of Facebook Live videos.
And giveaways. We've been doing some giveaways.
We've been doing a lot of giveaways. So come hang out with us there and you could win something. Anyway, join us next week for our next episode of Food Nerdery.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hungry Squared, yeah, Hungry Squared.